I'm sure you have heard about this quote: employees don't leave organizations, they leave their managers. Today I'm going to narrate to you my story about how this is absolutely true. I was in the year 2005-2006 working for a company where my manager was absolutely a brilliant micromanager, which means that he wanted me to tell him exactly everything what I'm doing. And if I failed to tell him, then he used to use other people, the assistants, to find out what I was doing. I was doing content development in that organization, and my work was to develop content. Now, as part of the entire content development, I believe that I need to understand other people's perspective, go and find out what exactly is their work area, their lifestyle, what exactly is their thinking, and then incorporate that into my content development. The moment I started interacting with the business, this manager of mine gives me a call and says, "Solomon, I told you to sit quietly and work over there. Why are you interacting with people?" I said, "I'm just doing my job, trying to figure out how can I do better in my content." And so what he wanted to do was to ensure that I don't interact with anybody and out of thin air create a lot of content. This happened once, this happened twice, and then I figured out that he is actually using one of his assistants to keep an eye on me of what exactly am I doing on a day-to-day basis. And basis that, he used to give me a call or send me a text message or WhatsApp message saying that, "Why are you going out and talking to people?" And that kind of created an environment where I was super micromanaged, but it was absolutely a claustrophobic environment for me. And within 5 months, I left that job. Immediately after that, I got a job in another company, and this manager of mine asked me what all can I do, and then he made me a project manager. And my work was to train people and place them. Within a month, I told him why this project is not a good project for the organization, right? But I also told him that we can possibly look at corporates and go to corporates and talk to them about how we could develop their values, behavior, mindsets. So I was a training manager, a project manager, but what I started doing was I started interacting with organizations whom I felt I could. So luckily this manager, of course he was my manager's manager, and he felt that I could come with him for certain business development calls. And I remember we went to UTI Mutual Fund, and both of us pitched for a project where we were with the CMD of UTI Mutual Fund. And we pitched the project, and both of us got that project to train 3,300 IFAs of UTI Mutual Fund. Not only did I sell that project, but I actually went on to recruit trainers, to develop trainers, to deploy trainers pan-India to train this 3,300 IFAs. In the first pilot project which I was to deliver, the CMD and the head of business came, attended the program, and congratulated me for creating such an interactive program and deploying it across for all the 3,300 IFAs. And then later on we got another project to train all the managers of the IFAs. That was just a start of the program, right? And then we went on to pick up another large project, which was HDFC Standard Life during that time, to train 10,000 sales development managers. And of course, after that, it was Nokia to train 18,000 people across the Western region, and so on and so forth. I gloomed and bloomed under his leadership because he gave me absolute opportunities to showcase my skills. And luckily, my skills were not only in content development, but also into business development, but also into project management, but also into train the trainer, but also into managing the entire project, right? That's the power of how a manager can make you or break you. I started with 5 trainers, and then I grew the entire team to almost 65 trainers during that time. So my dear leaders, I want you to reflect on how empowered are your managers and your leaders, number one. Second is, how empowering are they to bring somebody up in the air in terms of their knowledge, their skills, their values, their behavior? And then are they impacting the self-esteem of the person at a higher level, or they are dragging and pulling them at a lower level? The minute any of the managers are dragging and bringing the self-esteem of a person down, he's absolutely disconnected with the manager and then disconnected with the entire organization. How do you train your managers to ensure that you respect the self-esteem of every person in the organization? And that's how people will then not only work for the organization, they will also work for their managers.